a former Soviet nation best known as a Silk Road hub. The White Wolves might be one of the most snake-bitten footballing nations in World Cup qualification history. But that country, Uzbekistan, is currently enjoying one of the quickest rises in the game and could be one of the beloved underdogs of the tournament. Welcome to Kickback Soccer Media's World Cup Capsules, where you'll learn everything you need to know about all 48 national teams competing at the 2026 World Cup, from the history of the game, the nation's current World Cup trajectory, unsung heroes, cultural moments, and so much more. I'm David Goss, and today we are talking about the first-timers from Central Asia, Uzbekistan. 1912 is considered the birth of football in Uzbekistan. That's when football teams were first formed in the Kokad region of the country. Uzbekistan was under Soviet rule at the time, so from the 20s until the 90s, Uzbekistan operated mostly within the Soviet Republic, competing as a national team, but mostly competing against other Soviet Republic teams. Some Uzbek players were major factors in the USSR's national team too, such as goalkeeper Yuri Shenichkinov, who was the starter at the 1968 Euros, leading the Soviets to a runner-up spot. The country gained independence in 1991, and a new national team was formed, reflecting the country's new independent status. During this time, many of the former Soviet republics became members of UEFA, like Azerbaijan, Georgia, and Armenia, and Uzbekistan reportedly wanted to as well. But most of their neighbors, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan, went with the Asian Football Confederation, so the White Wolves did as well. They had some early success, even as they were finding their feet, winning the Asian Games, a U23 tournament in 1994. Since then, they've enjoyed some modest continental success. They finished fourth in the 2011 AFC Asian Cup, their best ever showing in that tournament, and their U23 side qualified for last summer's Olympics in Paris. This is the first World Cup the White Wolves are qualified for, but Uzbekistan has a long history of coming up just short in some of the most agonizing ways. In 2005, before the 2006 World Cup in Germany, they made it to the fourth round of Asian qualifying. The last round before the Intercontinental Playoff round, they faced Bahrain in a two-legged matchup and won the first leg 1-0. But, thanks to a refereeing error, FIFA annulled the match and ordered that it be replayed. They drew that replay 1-1, then played Bahrain to a scoreless draw on the road, which gave Bahrain the edge on away goals. 8 years later, Uzbekistan were neck and neck with South Korea to secure automatic qualification to the 2014 World Cup in Brazil, and missed out by 1 goal in goal differential. This then sent them to another two-legged playoff, this time with Jordan, which they lost in penalties, which went all the way to the 9th round of kicks. So heartbreak has been the theme, but they've clearly taken steps to prevent these heartbreaks in the future and didn't waste any time qualifying for 2026. Finishing second in Group A in the third round of qualifying, 2 points behind Iran, and earning one of the 6 automatic tickets to the World Cup. A 0-0 draw versus UAE and Abu Dhabi officially clinched their spot. Uzbekistan play an organized, physical, disciplined style. They're very tough to break down, so if they do get a goal, it's tough to get one back against them. In the third round of qualifying, their 5 wins from 9 games all came by a single goal, and 4 of them were 1-0 victories. This, along with their tendency to rep a blue and white uniform, has earned them the nickname Asian Italy, which is some foreshadowing. Thanks to formal investment in the domestic game, including mandatory academies, upgraded facilities, and in 2021, a club was launched, Olympic Tashkent, solely with the aim of preparing players for the Paris Olympics. Uzbekistan is one of the quickest rising footballing nations today. Their golden generation probably isn't coming until 2030, but this is a chance to work in some talent and get them up on the biggest international stage. They plan to use 2026 to get them playing off the continent and seen by more of the world. One of the biggest reasons that the White Wolves were able to overcome their World Cup curse and finally qualify is a man who The Guardian called Mr. Uzbekistan football, Timur Kapadze, which is accurate because no one has weaved as tightly into Uzbekistan's World Cup journey through the decades as Kapadze. Born in Uzbekistan, he spent most of his club career playing in the domestic league. He played for Uzbek giants Pakhtakor, made the switch to another Uzbek powerhouse, Buyankor, where he played with fellow Uzbek legend Server Jeprov and Brazilian great Rivaldo. He had stints in South Korea, UAE, and Kazakhstan as well. He has 119 appearances and 10 goals for the Uzbek national team from 2002 to 2015. He was part of the team during the infamous annulled game in 2006, and he made one of the penalties in their loss to Jordan in 2014. He then went on to lead the U23 team to a bronze medal at the 2022 Asian Games as a coach and secured Olympic qualification, which at the time was the biggest moment in the country's soccer history. The former midfielder took over the full national team in January and helped the team successfully to qualification. He's a national legend responsible on and off the field for the team's success. So you'd think they're all set. National legend, success with the U23 team, qualified for the World Cup. Kapadze is the coach, but this is Asian Italy, so maybe they couldn't help themselves when in October, it was announced that Kapadze would be stepping into an assistant role, and the new head coach would be legendary Italian defender Fabio Cannavaro. If anyone knows how to achieve World Cup glory, it is Cannavaro. He was captain of the 2006 Italian World Cup winning squad. He won the Ballon d'Or that year as well for the best player in the world. But he has very little managerial experience or success, especially at the national team level. 2 losses as head of China's national team is the extent of his experience. Kapadze has since left the national team setup altogether, and, who could really blame him? When you look at the star players to know and watch for Uzbekistan, it starts with the young defender Abdukodir Khusanov. He is the first Uzbek player to play in the Premier League when he joined Manchester City in January, only 21 years old. He went to Belarus to play when he was only 18. It helped get him in front of more eyes and caught the eyes of Lens in France. It accelerated his rise quicker than if he had stayed in Uzbekistan. But he is not the only star to know. Eldor Shomurodov, captain and the attacking leader of this squad. He's on the books with Roma in Italy, but he's currently out on loan at Istanbul Başakşehir. He has a lot of experience in Italy and will be one of the leaders of this team. He will be joined in the attack by a bright and up-and-coming player, and Abbosbek Fayzullaev, a 22-year-old attacking midfielder. He was the 2023 AFC Youth Player of the Year, and he's one of the country's most young, exciting talents. Uzbek soccer, especially World Cup qualification, is defined by heartbreak, but that extends to off the field as well. On August 11th, 1979, 2 airplanes collided in midair above what's now the Ukrainian city of Kamenetsk. On one of those planes were 17 players and staff from Uzbek giants Pakhtakor. It essentially wiped out a generation of Uzbek playing and coaching talent and a beloved team. Quote, "What we lost in that disaster is difficult to quantify," said 79-year-old Vladimir Safarov, a passionate club supporter and now regarded as Uzbek soccer's preeminent historian. Not only were they great players, but they had a great understanding of the game. We lost a crop of future coaches too. We always love to leave you with a fun fact and a prediction for how these countries will do. On the prediction side for Uzbekistan, I have to think it'll be something similar to their performance at the 2024 Olympics. They finished on 1 point, but they only had a -2 goal differential as they kept every game tight and competitive before getting the draw in their final game. I could see a similar performance at the World Cup. This is a team that has a distinct style. They have their identity. They're able to keep games manageable. The question if they can get over the top and get victories seems a little bit out of reach, but If they can have that positive performance, they can use that as something to springboard off of going forward into future Asian Cups and World Cups. And a fun fact to close you on, if you wanted to go by water, it would take you a while to get to this country. Uzbekistan is one of only 2 double landlocked countries in the entire world. So no matter how you enter, you need to go through at least 2 countries in order to reach a coastline. Luckily, they will probably be flying, and we are looking forward to seeing the White Wolves, maybe a team that could steal your heart at the 2026 World Cup.